good evening. Tonight I'm going to relay funny, touching, remarkable, and true stories of people's experiences on public transit. Several of these stories have been shared with me by fellow colleagues and friends, and the rest, photos included, have been unabashedly ripped off the internet. So, here are the ones that really stand out, and I tried to avoid the ones with alcohol, drugs, smelly things. In Perth, Australia, a public transit rider slipped and got his leg stuck beneath the train and the platform. But this hungry leg-eating train was no match for his fellow passengers. They organized on the platform, pushed the car, freed his leg, and went on their merry way. No joke. In 2013, a dead shark was discovered on the New York City subway. The unlikely passenger, measuring about 4 feet long, was found under a row of seats on a Queens-bound train. Transit officials said that pigeons and even an opossum have made their way on trains before, but never a shark. Where it came from remains a mystery. The woman who took this photo of the shark said she noticed something fishy on the train. What I don't get is how he ended up with a cigarette, a Red Bull, and a transit pass. That's not right. Okay, using a toilet on a train, not the most comfortable experience to begin with, but it became particularly uncomfortable for one passenger on a French TGV high-speed train. The passenger dropped his wallet down the toilet, bent over to retrieve the wallet, and wedged his hand firmly in the bowl. Firemen used metal cutters to extract him and the toilet bowl. Wait. The craziest thing is this has happened again. A poor guy in China also got his cell phone stuck in a toilet bowl, tried to fish it out, and here he is being taken to the hospital to have the toilet bowl removed from his arm. In 2012, a confused driver thought the entrance to the Paris Metro was the way into an underground parking garage. Luckily, the driver stopped before the rear wheels had left the street. The good news is no one was hurt. The bad news is things like this happen. Here it happened in Germany. Check out the Volkswagen Bug on the right. Celebrities take transit just like us. From stormtroopers to Marilyn Monroe at Grand Central Station. A couple of my favorites are fencer Ruben Lamardo sporting his gold medal as he's leaving the Olympics on the London Tube, or late night host Jimmy Kimmel taking the subway to the Emmys. Paris metro stations are known for their gorgeous design, but inside the trains aren't usually quite so elegant, until a project funded by the Palace of Versailles transformed these trains into a rail journey fit for kings and queens. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. You're seeing the inside of a commuter train decorated like the Palace of Versailles. This dramatic refurbishment transformed the trains into rooms from the royal palace. Here you can see a statue from the palace grounds looks down on a passenger. Not a bad way to commute. Now here's a cute story. A woman was traveling to Dent, a small town in the UK. When she got off the train, she saw nothing but countryside around her. So she asked the guard where the village was, and he told her it's about 3 miles down a hill. And the woman then asked, well, wouldn't it have been better to build the station near the village? To which the guard replied, well, yes, madame, but we thought it better to build it near the railway. This past summer, an 8-year-old boy in Russia decided to take a bus for a joyride. Stealing the bus when the driver left the keys in the ignition, the boy drove the bus through a hedge, a field, and across a lawn onto the road. Police eventually stopped him with a roadblock, and when asked, the boy said he was bored and didn't think anyone would mind if he was careful with it. The morning commute isn't something we all look forward to, but October Jones, an illustrator, found a fun way to pass the time on his train ride. So far, he's shared rides with the likes of the Roadrunner, Spider-Man, the Incredible Hulk, and Waldo, among others. For one day each January, subway trains in cities across the world are filled with crowds of bare-legged riders. Entering its 13th year, the no-pants subway ride has evolved from an obscure New York prank to a global event with 10,000 participants in 60 cities worldwide. Its purpose is to make people laugh. The first riders featured only 7 participants. Each pantless member of the stunt entered the train separately, and they acted as though they weren't aware of each other, and so they just forgot their pants. At the 8th stop, someone was selling pants for $1. This next story comes from our own Revolution National Steering Committee member, Lorna Moritz. As a young girl, she took the train into Chicago with her mother. As they approached the train tunnel, Lorna became very concerned with closing the operable train windows, thinking the train would flood when they went under the Chicago River. I'm glad you're still with us, Lorna. This next story comes from your own Hennepin County Commissioner, Peter McLaughlin. On January 28, 2006, Peter and his wife took the Hiawatha Line from their home to the Hennepin County Medical Center. Not an unusual trip for a transit-loving man, right? What was unusual is that they took the trip to the hospital while his wife was in labor and about to deliver their daughter, Casey Clare. Not only did they take the train to the hospital, but they took it home too in 3-degree weather, swaddled in blankets and no less than 4 hats. And Peter's reasoning was that he'd rather have the train conductor driving than trust his own driving skills. Casey looks no worse for the wear. This last story is a personal one. 14 years ago, I was commuting home from Denver to Boulder on the bus. It was a slow commute, it was a snowy night, and standing room only, so a gentleman offered me his seat. We exchanged pleasantries, but that was it. Turns out that wasn't it for him. He looked for me every day for the next 6 months, taking the early bus, the late bus, you name it, a bit of a stalker. When he finally ran into me again on the bus, he started up a conversation with me while the bus was still at the station, and he asked if he could sit next to me because the bus might fill up. There were like 3 people on the bus. Fast forward 14 years, he and I are happily married with 2 children, and so pretty much to sum it up, I heart transit.